Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. Quick video today because the Esports World Cup for Valorant seems to have been officially locked in, but some drama going down again, especially on the game changer side. Big controversy always around these Esports World Cup tournaments out there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and Valorant is finally, it seems, getting included after some massive controversy that went down this season, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows for various reasons. Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Here's Ye, by the way, as he says, new TD and meta, of course, getting ready for the upcoming season with Evil Geniuses, and of course, well, a team that you might expect to be at the Esports World Cup. But lots to say on that in a second, because it's very intriguing the way that Valorant is going to be running at the World Cup, if indeed this is shortly thereafter confirmed, as we believe it is going to be. Because of course, the Esports World Cup has been a massive talking point in esports this year, and Valorant wasn't there, very notably, despite many other top esports, even Riot Games esports, being there. So how's it going to fit into the calendar? There's lots of interesting details here, but of course, many fans will be relatively happy, I'd imagine, to see more major Valorant tournaments happening. But which teams are going to be invited? That is another question for you guys. Before we get to that, I thought this is pretty interesting from SkRossi, because, he was asked the question, why does Indian esports, why don't the players reach Radiant to the same degree as in other VCT regions? And I thought it was interesting that SkRossi went on to say this about, his own region, basically, and maybe why. Because we've seen with global esports, they've signed a number of Indian players. There's lots of interest in the Indian scene in Valorant, but unfortunately the reality is for that scene they don't have enough top quality players to justify global esports maintaining that presence with Indian players, so they've gone for a more international approach. But SkRossi says this: players and orgs might hate me for this, but 80% of VCL pros from 2024 were not Radiant. But playing at a pro level, 95% of the players never came top 10 of the leaderboard in 4 years of Valorant. I'm friends with both SEA, Southeast Asia players, and India players on my list, and I see the SEA players who are better than us, grinding more than Indian players, always online, always on the leaderboards. These players get paid less, except on the big teams, than most of the Indian players. Some of them are not even paid at all, but they still grind, whereas in India, people play the game only when they're in an organization or something. They play scrims or 2 or 3 ranked games a day, maybe with friends, to chill. Everyone's got their own personal time and reasons, but you cannot get better without grinding, loving the game. Now there's a little hope with a bunch of young players grinding the game. Organization also doesn't care or keep track of their players' performances, as most of the guys in the organization do not have a background of being a pro player themselves, or they're not an esports enthusiast, don't know much about competitiveness, or maybe they don't know they should do all this, or they don't care once they do their job of hiring a team. There's no accountability, there's nothing professional since I started playing Valorant, although these should come from the players itself, that grinding, progressing is part of the job. I'm sorry if anyone felt offended or what I'm saying is not true, but some of you might actually be grinding, but this is based on what I see on my friends list every day and on the leaderboards. I don't see pros grinding as much as in Indian pros as the Southeast Asian players who are better than us in terms of everything. So I thought, it's quite the rant really from SkRossi, and look, I'm not sure if you agree with him or not, but it's certainly an interesting perspective that certain players in certain regions wouldn't say, well, I guess the implication is, yeah, getting comfortable with the way that things are. They're happy with taking their salary, playing a little bit every month, and, being satisfied where they're going to be. Whereas his perspective is that players in other regions, with the exception maybe of a few from the Indian side who are grinding hard, are willing to do everything it takes to get to the next level. And SkRossi maybe doesn't see that to the same extent in his own region. So pretty interesting stuff. And maybe this is going to be a turning point for some of the players reading this tweet and saying, you know what, I'm not living up to my potential as a player. But tweet your thoughts on that in the comment section below. But let's talk about the Esports World Cup. So if you guys aren't aware, major tournament that happened this year out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, like a $60 million prize pool spread across, I think the club championship was $20 million, and across all the individual tournaments was something like $40 million they probably had on the line for that one. Major tournament, it was run over like 6, 7, 8 weeks. We'll see the details in a second. But of course, notably this year, Valorant was not there, despite the fact that League of Legends and other Riot Games were in attendance. Valorant wasn't there. Now, the reports were this year that was due to scheduling conflicts. But as you guys can see, this was the schedule. Now, this TBA on week 7 eventually turned out to be Call of Duty. I was lucky enough to actually be there in Riyadh for that event. But so week 1 to week 8, it was a crazy tournament. 8 weeks of action. We can see League of Legends, Mobile League of Legends, Dota, pretty much everything, top esports related was played at this tournament. And they, of course, were looking and will continue to look to expand it going into the upcoming years. Will it stay as 8 weeks? Will they condense it? I don't know. That's a matter for debate. But it was a massive tournament and a major discussion point of the year why Valorant was not there. And, well, as we described, it seems to be that scheduling conflicts were top of the list. Now, this was very interesting. So Mikhail Klimentov comes out with an article yesterday discussing that, as far as he understands, an internal esports World Cup document has been leaked to him that confidently lists Valorant and Game Changers among the events at the 2025 esports World Cup. However, Riot says that GC is off the table and that EWC has not spoken with them about hosting a women's event. So this is all very interesting, of course, for a couple of reasons. But as he goes on to say, the EWC has characterized Game Changers at the 2025 event as a near certainty internally, apparently. At a glance, the list leaked to me lines up with the EWC public messaging on the matter. But Riot has completely denied this is a possibility. So it's all very interesting, right? Because fundamentally, the Esports World Cup want to run these things. The teams really want to go because there's a lot of money on the line at the World Cup. The teams want to be one of the partner teams for the Esports World Cup. But obviously, Riot have to give the permission to EWC to use their games. And it seems that they're happy to do it for Valorant, but are not so much for GC. So that's, of course, the rumor is that due to the circumstances in Saudi Arabia, for various reasons, that Riot are not happy with the idea of having a GC tournament run there, even though apparently the Saudis want to do it. But yeah, very much intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comment section below. But that seems to be the rumor. The Esports World Cup may want Game Changers, but Riot says they're not getting it. So they're probably not getting it. Now, there may be some other tournaments they're doing there that GC could be a part of. But yeah, very interesting developments here. And it does seem like, yeah, Valorant will be represented at the Esports World Cup for the new season, but it will not be Game Changers, according to the way things currently stand. So the question, of course, then comes to, when is it going to be? Because as we saw a second ago, they're still, I imagine, scheduling to do it in the summer, as they did last year. It's very hot out there in Riyadh during these couple of months, but, you know, there is aircon inside, and July to August. So if that lines up, again, with the 2025 VCT schedule, this is July and August. Currently, as it stands, the Stage 2 will run July the 12th through to the 15th of August, and the playoffs then run from there until the end of the month. So if it's going to be anywhere, it's got to be, you would think, just after Masters Toronto. Masters Toronto finishes 22nd of June, although, of course, they've got the graphic going right to the end of June to make it look like it's longer. But, you know, basically, 22nd of June, that's when Toronto finishes. And you'd imagine the slot will be to run the World Cup in the start of July. And then the players will go to the World Cup, someone will win, someone will lose, and then they'll come back and they'll run Stage 2, and then, you know, the Stage 2 playoffs, and then do the champions after that. Which, to be fair, I think is a pretty good way to do it, because it means that you get the Esports World Cup winner, and, you know, they get to cash in big time in terms of the prize pool, and then they come back and play out the rest of the season, where you then, of course, get, you know, the big Valorant World Championship is afterwards, and therefore carries some more weight, I would suppose. But I guess the question to me is, which teams are getting invited? Because they will not be inviting at Esports World Cup 48 Valorant teams from around the world. They will not, I don't imagine anyway, be inviting all the teams of all the regions. Seems very unlikely. It's more likely that the teams that get invited maybe are some of the top pro teams, but also the teams that are part of their club program, basically. Now, in the Call of Duty world, of course, the club teams are invited, but so were the rest of the teams in the league, but they're only 12 teams, plus 4 challenger teams. Whereas in the VCT, 48 teams to invite 12 from a region, I don't know if that's going to be happening. So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to select the teams that will come. Now, all of the teams on this list that are partner teams, any of these that have Valorant teams, of which many do, Cloud9, obviously FaZe don't anymore, but maybe they will, Fnatic, Furia, G2, KC, Gen.G, etc., many of these organizations do have Valorant teams. They will be there for sure. But the rest of the teams, if any, that is a serious question. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Wait, you don't remember who I was playing with, Sam? That fucking... Well, yeah, I mean, you scream like a
Yo, please, baby J, be quiet.
Yeah, Ryan, shut up. Adults talking.
Read
no
the
beef with tons, bro. Hey, shut the fuck up.
Inspire.
No.
All I know is you're not saying that to my fucking face. You
yes,
hear me,
I
Inspire?
would.
No. You
You're
130
a
pound,
gamer, you don't scare me,
130
bro.
pound soaking.
Yeah, and you get a.
And what are
TV
you?
monitor
And what are
sitting
you?
inside all
And what are you talking about me being a gamer? What the fuck are you,
That
huh?
doesn't make you an MMA fighter, bro. You grew up in the suburbs, fam.
Okay, don't say fam. First
Fam.
of all, you ugly fuck. Yo, Slur, who do you think would win in a fight, me or Hunter? White picket fence Shanks, red. Nah, Slayer, you're on my dick, bro. Wait, one's down mid. Someone call WestJet. We have a video on our hands.
200.
I don't know. Is WestJet rich, chat? I feel like he's rich. I need to copyright him. Yo, thoughts on Shazam? Baby J? I remember you guys. I remember you guys beefed on Icebox. Remember when you guys beefed on Icebox?
What about you and Tyson's beef? You're like beefing with the face of Valorant?
Wait, no. I'm actually. I remember reacting to that. I had like 200k on YouTube. What happened? That it was on Icebox. You remember that, Hunter, or no?
No, but I remember Tyson like roasting your chat. Honestly, I wasn't like that, but.
Yeah, you guys are trolls, bro. Come rush B. Come rush B. Come rush B.